Hey, what's going on YouTube? This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So I wanted to talk about one of the experiences that I had last night. So, as you know, the night before, if you've seen the past two videos that I uploaded before this one, I spoke about my experience being in the astrals, being in the school setting, and being able to fly, levitating, and then using telekinesis on the space that I was in. And I ended up breaking glass. I ended up breaking a part of their structure. Very small, but anywho, I just put out the thought, and bada bing, bada boom, my gifts revealed themselves to me in that moment. So the next day, I just did what I normally did in the sense of yoga, meditation, eating, same old, that kind of daily routine. And then before I went to bed, I just kept telling myself that I am telekinetic. I am highly telekinetic, and I can create anything with my mind. I then rewatched some of the power scenes from, Teen Titans with Raven, and paying more attention to her telekinetic constructs, and then allowing myself to imagine what I would create, with that dark matter energy that is in the physical coming from outside myself, but this happening in the astrals. I was just having fun, and doing what I could to probe my subconscious mind. If I were in a sticky situation, I do not need to ask for help from this person, that person, someone from outside myself, but I just need to go further within and unleash my abilities. So, what happened last night? Well, I right before bed, right? I felt the impulse to check to turn on this music on my phone. So I went to YouTube because I don't pay for Spotify anymore. And when I did that, I saw the clock and it said 11:03, and that impulse for me to check or look up this music came out of nowhere. I was taking deep breaths, I was feeling good, I was feeling rested, and that came out of nowhere. And I'll touch on that later in this video, but that was the case. And then, I listened to it for a bit, turned it off, and then went to bed. Went into the astrals, came back, and then the other experience that I had, I was by these men, these fallen Anunnaki gods, these fallen Atlantean gods, however they wish to be referred to as, But those of us who fell in frequency, who are currently aligned with Zeus and his agenda to keep us enslaved. And for those who, that's on the agenda, take us out. But I was in this space, and, it was another simulation, and it was the first floor of a house. And it was essentially a party. I was at a party, some gathering. And we were all around this table. And I was on the couch. And there were some others here. And then there were some chairs for the people that, weren't sitting on the couch to make this, circle, essentially. And we were playing some card game, and cards got drawn. And then I picked one. And the one that I picked had the number 9 on it. And then I had another experience in the astrals where that happened again, not essentially like with the cards, but I'm seeing a 9 again. And this has happened, I've lost track of the amount of simulated experiences like that with fallen Anunnaki gods or goddesses. And I'm seeing the 9, I'm seeing the 3, I'm seeing the 6, whether it's once or it's recurring like a 333 or a 96666 or a 969393, whatever. So last night I picked up that card and it was a 9. And there's a reason for that. And then, I was still at the party, just vibing essentially, but they got what they wanted with me seeing that symbol, because these numbers, every number correlates with the letter, and every single one of those numbers and letters, they are all symbols that hold energy, that hold frequency. So it was registered that I saw this symbol, I took in that energy, took in that information, and then I repeated what has been conditioned inside of me, that this symbol is a 9. I'm going to say it right here, right now. I don't 100% know that is the number or the name for that symbol that we created. But it might have been reversed. Regardless, I repeated it in my head, like it was registered that I saw a 9. I saw that symbol. And, like I said, then I was in the space for a little bit more. And then that was the most important part of what happened in that situation. And I returned back to my body. And in that moment, within 5 seconds of my consciousness being shot back into this vessel, I heard the thought rise up from within me: I am not telekinetic. I am not capable of telekinesis. And I thought, it took 2 seconds for me to hear the thought after it rose up in me, and then I verbally said it. It's not like it rose up and I have the choice or not to say it. Some force outside of me, or wherever these beings exist, is taking control of my avatar, is sending these messages, these thoughts, and then taking control from within the spirit body, that then takes control of the voice box, and I am omitting. I'm saying whatever that phrase, sentence, thought is that came from outside of my being, but rose up from within, because my body is a technology that I don't currently fully own. Reclaiming every day, all of us, whether we like it or not. But that was the thought. And like I said, within 2 seconds I questioned it. I just thought, what? And my response was, that's not true. That thought does not belong to me. I am telekinetic. I am highly telekinetic. I am telekinetic. I am highly telekinetic. And then I just kept repeating that, and I am capable of telekinesis. I am telekinetic. So it was definitely interesting that my thoughts that I had prior to bed was me repeating, and just further believing that I am, reminding myself that I am telekinetic, and if something were to happen in the astrals, I'd hopefully probe my subconscious mind enough so that part of my consciousness remembers if I was in a sticky situation. Moving things with my mind or creating telekinetic constructs out of thin air with the use of my dark matter energy. So they heard that and they were like, oh no. We can't have him believing. We can't have him remembering what he can do. So they did that. And that was the thought. So relating back to the beginning of this, I do believe that the impulse for me to listen, to look up music on my phone so I could look at the clock at that specific time, that impulse came from outside of me, you know? Because I'm looking at the clock less and less and less right now. Just because I've noticed, in those moments when I feel it in the left side of my brain, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. So I just choose not to look if I don't have to. And time is a spell, and it's time that we move out of that spell. We're energetic beings. We're timeless. Our spirits are timeless, and our souls are immortal. So I do, now believe that was a thought and an impulse, programmed, downloaded into me, created into me for me to then take on and look at the clock at that specific time. So there'd be that little bit of energy right here, whatever it is, in the left side of my brain. So yeah, that was the experience. I had more afterwards when I went back into the astrals, but this was the important part that I wanted to really touch on, They know which ones of us are unplugging. They know all of us are unplugging. It's just a matter of degrees. But remind yourself how powerful you are and what is rightfully yours. Your abilities, your gifts, this whole land. Freedom, peace, harmony. But in relation to what happens, figure out, remind yourself what you are capable of doing. We're all telepathic. We may all be telekinetic, and if not all of us are, then you have a specific gift, whatever it may be for you. Go within, remind yourself that you're capable of doing it, and then start repeating it. Make it true. I am this. What you say is, because you're the ancient being that makes everything in this matrix go. Believe in yourself. And then you'll see which beings are putting in more effort to keep you silent and asleep. Like for me, downloading, creating, programming those thoughts, and, the uncomfortable thing, I don't want to use the word scary, but just the unsettling, uncomfortable thing about all of it is that some force, whether it's one person or multiple people, taking the time out of their day to come up with a thought, to then send that thought to my spirit body, my astral body, downloading it for me to have, and it rising up inside of that spirit body of mine from deep within. And then my voice, my body, this right here, I repeat it. And that's not me being the driver in the driver's seat repeating it. In those moments, I become a passenger in my own body. When the thought rises up, and bada bing, bada boom, the times that I have repeated it out loud, immediately I'm a passenger in the body. But then it takes, like I said, 2 seconds, and I regain that control of my temple. And the first thing I do, I shut down that thought. That thought does not belong to me. Whether you say it in your head or you say it out loud. And then whatever it is that they, programmed into you, loses its power. And remind yourself how powerful you are. But that definitely is something that's a little unsettling. But it's not going to stop us from shifting. It's not going to stop the inevitable. So remind yourself of all that you can do. Remind yourself of your gifts and believe in yourself. You have that power. You are that powerful. They know it. And it's time that you remember it. So I'm going to end this video here. And I want to send peace, courage, protection, and divine cosmic love to all 93 beings, to all Atlantean beings who are on their journey of remembering their divinity and remembering who they are. Peace.